Hello. Figured I'd show you what I've been doing. No kisses on the camera. I'm making some beans right now, but look at all this dirt I dumped. Dumped a bunch of it. I'm trying to fill in that hole. I don't know if you can see it. It's sloping down. It's filling it in now. But that took a couple wheelbarrows right there. Yeah, all this extra land. Soon it will be going out like that. And all this will be backfilled. Haven't cut those bushes yet. I've just been... have to cut more firewood too at some point. But I've just been busy digging. And look at all the digging that's been done. Isn't that awesome? Hope you can see it well. Check it out. Past that. That right there, it's like 4 feet after that. That's where the piece of plywood is, so. I am so close. If I can get 2 feet done every day, it's like three more days with this thing on the side. And this rock is so brutal. I chipped away so much today. It is just so rough. Yeah, hopefully, you know, 4 maybe 5 days finish this off. But they are hard days. My arms are killing me. Back of my arms are like, It's been windy, which is nice. Puppies are naked because they haven't been on a walk yet, but I need to eat food before that. Those are good puppies. Yeah, what a day digging. Oh man, I'm gonna keep doing more, but probably not gonna record too much. It's just watching me dig is boring. Oh, I did want to talk though. I should probably record that. You guys seen Rabbit Pitts died? I didn't want to make this about him though and like milk off of it, so I'm not gonna like put him in the thumbnail or anything. But if you don't know who he is, check out Rabbit's First Day Selling Cars. If you just put that in YouTube, I'll put a link in the description too, as long as I don't forget. I get so tired doing these things, I like lose track of stuff I'm doing. But Rabbit's First Day of Selling Cars. Rabbit's First Day. He's this guy, Robert Pitts. He's from the South. He didn't just have an amazing first day selling cars, but he was a great storyteller. And I really enjoyed his videos. I sold cars for a little bit when I was a kid, and I was the worst car salesman ever. And hearing his stories, you know, the guy's just like legend. He was so good at what he did, and he's so good at just talking and telling stories and making people feel comfortable, that he was able to do that for very successfully, and then come on YouTube and tell stories about it and get millions of views. And you'll see a lot of people in the car community are very like you know, kind of struck by his passing. And I think that's because of who he was as a person. You know, he wasn't like the fastest guy or the best mechanic or something like that. He was just a very genuine, good person. And makes you think about, he was only a couple years older than me, which is crazy. Makes you think about legacy and life and, you know, all this stuff. But yeah, it's kind of wild. I was a terrible car salesman, I'll tell you guys. I went in for an interview. It went on for like 4 hours. I was like 20 years old. I was a kid. And it went on forever. And it went on so long, the guy had to give me a ride home. I used to have to walk to the dealership. I didn't have a car. Atlantic Toyota on the Linway and Lynn. I would make more money picking up guys' lunches than I did selling cars. Because they're all car salesmen and they're machismo. They would, you know, if it cost 15 bucks or 12 bucks, they'd give me a 20 and be like, keep the change, kid. If it cost 22, they'd give me 40. It was wild. So I literally made more money picking up lunch for everybody. And I made sure everyone's order was perfect. I wrote everything down. And I made more money from that. And then I would go with the boss, and they ended up hiring this other salesman who was young like me, but he was actually good at it. He actually sold cars. But me, him, and the boss and the owner sometimes would go to Wonderland, and they would bet on the dogs. And me and that kid, if I picked one and he picked one, between the two of us, we would always pick first and second. Wasn't necessarily sure which one would be right, but we would always pick the first and second dogs. And the guy that we worked for, there's some kind of bet where if you bet 1 and 2, he would just bet 1 and 2 both ways on what we picked. And he was winning, like, you know, for $1 down, he'd win like $300 or something crazy like that. And he was giving me cash, and that was, I made more money from that than anything else. They had like a pity check of like $350. And that's if you made no commission, so that's basically what I made the whole time. The only sales I ever really got were like fleet sales where I take people around, but being a young guy trying to sell new cars is not good. And there's not much you can say, you know. Nobody wants to hear anything. I sold more cars when I said I'd look into that. Like if someone asked me something and I knew the answer, stop answering it, tell them you'll find out, and just never respond. And that's what I would do. And suddenly I started selling cars. It's a very weird business. It helps if you sell something that people like, you know. People like Toyotas, so it wasn't a hard sale, but I just was terrible at it. There was guys that were selling like 20 something cars a day, a month or whatever, and you know, I was lucky to sell 1 or 2. But I worked there for a long time, like 6 months or something. It was fun. I made a bunch of money cleaning the cars off from snow and stuff like that. And I was just a bad car salesman. And you hear Rabbit stories, and you know, he was a legend. He was so good at it. I don't want to ruin the story, because you guys can watch it, and half of it is how he tells it. It's not just the story, you know. It's his delivery, his demeanor. He was a cool guy. And I hope you guys get a chance to check out his video. I know it's a little different. It's not me in the woods digging dirt, but I think you'll actually like it. It is starting to look cool though. I like this opening. Might trim that shrub too. I don't know. I don't want to take out too many of the bushes. There needs to be trees around. When there's a bunch of trees, I don't mind taking out all the bushes like this. But there doesn't really seem to be any trees down there. There might be one that I see through stuff, but it could be dead. I have to get through to get to it. I think it is dead. Yeah. Pretty cool day. Oh, look at that tree. It's leaning a bunch. Hasn't fallen yet. I swear it moved it a little bit more. Slowly coming over. It's gonna go poof one day. There's a little creek right there you can see, a little valley. I don't think it's flowing. And then up there, if you go far enough, you can see there's another one that way. Over the ridge, there's another one, like there's another one over there, another one over there. But these little, what do they call them? Tributaries are kind of cool. You can make it out on the land. It's like a sharp groove there. When the digging's done, we're gonna cut a path, get over there. I'm thinking that's some kind of trail we'll follow, game trail or something. I'd really like to make it to the top with the puppies. Yeah, thanks for watching. I will, yeah, I'll tune in more. And if anyone's from Atlantic Toyota and the Linway and Lynn, and remembers when I was a kid 20 years ago working there, you know, it'd be funny to hear from you in the comments. I liked that job. I had fun. I loved cars. I loved cars so much I would sell. I'd go to a car dealership all day. Be terrible at selling cars. I'd go home. I'd play Gran Turismo 3, race car game, and then I would I'd watch Speed, the V8 motor car in Germany. It was like the V8 supercars or something, where it's like NASCAR, but they go around like F1 tracks. It's pretty cool. But I'd watch that and pass out. And yeah, I was like super into cars, but I was a terrible car salesman. Eventually I got an RX-7 through the dealer auction, which was really fun. I love that car. But before that, I got to drive home cars a couple times, which was a lot of fun. But the, you don't want to put miles on them, the new ones. And I had a used Supra for like a week or something. And this guy drove 3 miles to come by. And I'll never forget how like bummed I was when I realized this dude drove 3 hours. Like, someone's here to look at it. I was like, oh, cool. And the guy's like, he drove 3 hours to come see it. I was like, oh man, he's definitely gonna buy it, you know. Yeah, that was a fun car. That was a fun car. It was an automatic, but it was a blast. It had glass T-tops and hard T-tops. It had like a removable roof glass section, and then like a hard thing. It was a whole thing in the back in the trunk. But it was a really pretty car. It was like a jet fighter. Everything angled towards you, towards the driver. And Fast and Furious and stuff, you know, everyone wanted a Supra. I gotta figure out a way to get over there. Just cross this creek somehow. It's a steep drop though, down bottom there. Goes boop, like 6 feet. I haven't been across there. Yeah. Coming along, excited on all the digging. I really am. Hopefully a week or so. I'm so sick of digging. Look at that massive vein of rocks. That it is as brutal as you can imagine going through. The stuff below is just as hard as that. It's ridiculous. It's pretty wild. And you can see there's more veins of rocks ahead. But I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done. Soon I will have this space, and then I got to take this down and figure out what I'm doing. I might kick this over more, have a nice wide open space, build this over here, and then start working on this. I don't know. Got a couple ideas. Can go a bunch of different ways. If you're in the area and you want to help dig, feel free to hit me up on Discord. And I hope you all have a great day. There's Bobby. There's a plane coming.